said that were kind of disconcerting, and there's other things that were probably need some further clarification.
Okay.
I filed a BOLI claim.
No, I'm aware. I've got your case file in front of me.
Oh, okay, good. And just to make this concise, I was told that during our conversations, I documented things, and I said, I have some additional evidence, I believe, that it will be, coming up here. I'm investigating some things. And I was told at one point that I could go ahead and resubmit that, and that she would review it and would give it some consideration. And I said, well,
after the case is closed?
I believe that is correct. Then I was told by the end of the conversation, I said, well, if that's the case, then, well, actually, this, I have to go back and review my notes when it was actually closed. But I was told that, but I was definitely told to submit my information, and it would be taken under consideration. Definitely.
Okay, so...
let me finish.
Okay.
And then, by the end of the conversation, I was told, well, you can go ahead and submit your information, but we're not going to do anything.
Was this all by Sue Jordan, or was it from a different manager?
This was by Sue Jordan. And then secondly, after time had progressed, I have HR, the HR director at the place that I filed against, who is threatening me and harassing me and intimidating me, and some other information too. I mentioned to Sue Jordan that the union was trying to negotiate on my behalf a letter of recommendation, and as soon as the BOLI claim came, they refused to negotiate. And even after the BOLI claim was finalized, they refused to talk to the union at any point after that. And I said, that sounds like a retaliation issue. And Sue Jordan said, yeah, that might be, actually. So if you want to go ahead and file something, go ahead and we'll review that. Well, so a bit of time goes by, I collect more information. I gather my information from my union rep. I was not at this meeting, by the way. My union rep was. And she verifies this. And I call back. Sue Jordan says, well, we're not, she tells me on the phone, she said, you got to get, what did she say? She said, you got to let this thing go. It's going to drive you crazy. So A, she's not going to do what she said she was going to do, A, and B, I think that's entirely inappropriate to say. I called U.S. Senator Merkley's office and spoke with Josh there, who's one of his assistants, and he said that is inappropriate. I can prove this because I recorded all my telephone conversations.
Are you done, or can I respond, or are you still going?
Well, I also want a copy of the response from Chemeketa Community College. I'd be willing to pay for the copies. That's perfectly fine.
That's a public record, yeah.
Yeah, I have not gotten that. Of their actual form they fill out. I did not.
Oh, you want a copy of... I'm unclear. You want a copy of the form they filled out to get a record, copy of the record, or you want a copy of the case file?
But I already have...
You actually got it. It looks like you're in the record that you... we sent us a check for $16.28 on August 14th. So you want... who got a copy? I'm unclear, Mr. Warnock.
Well, my point is, first of all, let me look through my file again, okay? And I'll see if that's included in there, first of all. Secondly, nowhere in the state law does it say that lack of resources lack of funding should exempt investigation or appropriate investigation to any claim that's filed with BOLI. So your own, and this is documented also, your own legal counsel, is it Karen Olamiller?
She's not legal counsel, she's our legal policy advisor.
Okay. She informed...
I have to say that as Department of Justice is the only attorney for us that she can, Marcia can...
Sure, Marcia, yes.
On policy matters.
Yeah, she informed me that it's a very common occurrence that lack of resources.
Right, but that's not the reason your case was closed.
Well, I understand that, but, you know, I'm not asking why my case was closed. That's what I'm not asking. Okay. Okay. But when a manager at BOLI says she is going to do these things, or he or she says she's going to do these things, and breaches that later, and discourages me to the point of not filing, that is really inappropriate. And then on top of that, adding insult to injury, telling me I have to let this go, otherwise it's going to drive myself crazy, that is inappropriate. I used to work for the state, and I worked in through my several years of college through the Department of Visitor Services at the state capitol, and Frankie Bell was the director of the department.
Yeah, Frankie. Johnny Bell here? Frankie Bell. The blonde woman?
Yes, tall.
Yeah, I know her.
Yeah. If I tell you, if we would ever treated any guest, any visitor, either inside or outside the state like that, we would have been hauled in her office immediately. I tell you, that's absolutely inappropriate. And to confirm that, Senator Merkley's office also confirmed that too, that is inappropriate. It not only discourages people to even file a claim because there's a feeling of total lack of faith in the system. So, you know,
Would you be willing to?
I can give you any evidence. I can provide you any of the recordings, any of the telephone conversations, any of the evidence that I have. I'd be happy to supply you that.
Just send me, because I'm not sure about the recording.
Well,
HR people would say about that, but if you...
I'll tell you what the law is. Oregon is a one-party consent state.
No, I understand that.
Yeah.
In terms of what I can use as evidence, I'm not sure. But the statements that you're making to me are concerning enough for me to follow up on. So if you could email me to reiterate in your own words, and I've written down what you told me.
Sure.
About the conversations and your concerns about customer service, I certainly can follow up on that. In terms of your ability to file a new claim, I think you've spoken with Letty Ellis, and she probably correctly stated that it has to be a year from the last date of harm, and once the case was closed on June, whenever the case, you got 90 days from when the case was closed to go to court. But then if you said, when you were talking to me, that there's still what you view as, if it's still current, retaliation?
I believe it is. In fact, I even explained briefly to Sue Jordan. I said, well, there's another issue that came up, and when I found out from my union rep, because the union rep told me, well, after you file the BOLI claim, all the VP of administration at the school said, we're done talking. Mr. Warner filed a BOLI claim, and we're done talking. And even after the claim was settled, they will not talk with me.
I can't tell if that's a recognizable claim, but you could at least, if the date is within the year from today.
I believe it is within the year.
Well, then you can contact her and take it, and I can speak with Letty Ellis about that. But the thing that's really clear is that whatever your new, and I can't speak to the strength of your claim, but if you've got an allegation that's recognized under our statute that is under 365 days, then that is something we can take.
Sure.
And then the other issues that that you've expressed concern about
I don't know when...
won't affect your case, but I will certainly follow up.
Yeah, thank you. I do appreciate that. Now, I don't know when this actually happened.
Yeah.
When this utterance was spoken to my union rep, because I was not at the meeting. but I can let you know when I was informed about it.
Okay.
So, because...
That in the email, I'm not sure if I just don't want to give you
I understand.
false hope that there's jurisdiction, but I'll certainly look at it.
Sure.
So can you send me an email just sort of summarizing? And
Sure.
you can mention in your email that you have this other documentation.
Yeah.
I can find out if I should try to get that.
Yeah. When these further developments happened, the HR director, not only is I'm going through the grievance process, and she's intimidating me, she's threatening me with harassment, and the process is such that they're saying initially that I was, and I have all the evidence on this, all recorded telephone conversations. Not only are they, at first they were calling it poor performance. That's why they got rid of me. But those allegations can easily be disproven. They're fictitious. 3 months after I was, quote unquote, I was finally told that I was no longer employed there, and this had gone on for quite a while. They finally told me 3 months after that, I got a copy of my personnel file looking for these performance issues, and they're not in there. I filed a public information request with Rebecca Hillier, the public information officer at the school, who's also a JD, and I asked for that specific document that Peggy Borgeson, you may know her, I don't know, who read to me over the phone, and I recorded this information of her stating performance issues. Now suddenly this document doesn't exist. They can't find it, or it's been destroyed. They're denying that it even is there in emails. So that's a Class A misdemeanor. It's a obstruction, destruction of evidence.
Have you consulted? I mean, we don't have jurisdiction over some of what you're discussing.
I understand.
Consulted an attorney?
I have on this matter, yes.
Okay.
And it is a Class A misdemeanor.
So you can work with your attorney to pursue that if it's still within statute of limitations.
My attorney now is, from the standpoint, this case is getting too complicated for him because there's labor law attorneys, and then there's labor law attorneys that deal with public sector issues. And that niche is a very narrow, small niche. And quite frankly, to find someone that feels comfortable to work in that realm within a 90-day period after you get your letter is almost next to impossible, because the people that normally handle those and that have experience in that area, they're backlogged. 90 days is just not sufficient.
Well, that you might want to contact your legislators and ask them to check, because that's in statute. That changed. I've other people who've complained about that.
I talked to my legislator, Margaret Doherty, about this.
Oh, okay.
About this issue with Sue Jordan too, and she said, "Well, I might have to make some phone calls." So I'm forwarding some. I've been in the process of putting something together for her.
Okay, so we can't get involved in the political aspect.
No, I understand.
Certainly, I can pass it on to the labor commissioner because he can.
I understand.
But I think your legislators, that's really good. And so Doherty, is she representative or senator?
I believe she's a representative.
Okay, because if you go on the legislative web page and you can plug in your address and you can find out both your state senator and your state rep, and then you already obviously know.
Yeah, she's a representative, yeah. In fact, I ran into her at the public library about 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
In Tigard.
Okay.
So...
But there's other people, multiple people have expressed concern about the tight timeline of the 90 days.
Yeah, it's almost next to impossible.
Yeah. Hey, so Mr. Warnath, I have a 10 o'clock meeting. So can I give you my email address?
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Okay, it's Amy, A-M-Y, .Claire, and Claire is spelled K-L-A-R-E, @state.or.us.
Okay.
If you send all that information to me, I will definitely follow up. And then if you think there might be something that's not time barred by the statute of limitations, let me know that as well.
Okay. So those two things.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that sounds good.
Okay?
Sorry for the trouble, but I really thought this really needs to be addressed.
No, I'm glad you let me know.
I mean, it's one thing, my wife works in HR, and I tell you, BOLI does some excellent work, and they put on seminars, and they're really should we say, a force to be respected. And when this stuff goes on, and I see this, that is really, it's not only a breach of what was stated, but it's really pretty appalling. So that's why I wanted to bring it to your attention. Thank you
for doing that, and I look forward to getting your course.
Because this is not what BOLI was. And I understand there probably are limited resources, but, there were some things when certain things are stated and not followed through or not allowed then, and then once they were stated, and then things that were said that were not appropriate, that's crossing the line. So, anyway. Okay, thank you. I'll go ahead and send you that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Warner. All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.